Hello and welcome to the presentation of Mashups. This is for the unit Collaborative Web Tools for Business Web 2.0, and today we'll be looking at what mashups are. So let's start with the history of mashups. Previously in the Web 1.0 world, companies used to store consumer data on internet. They uploaded them regularly, but the company had the control over data. So basically what that means is customers and people cannot use their data by themselves. They have to request company to create an application which will enable them to use their existing data. What happened with Web 2.0 was consumer data was unlocked. The use of application program interface from different websites were used to create a new website or new web application. For example, the users used mapping service and photo service to create an application to show where the locations are where the photo were taken. So in that way, consumer or the people don't have to ask the company to create a new application for them, which will enable this, and they'll have to pay for it. So what basically happens, we'll look at how the web mashup works. Let's look at the simple operating system example of how an operating system works in the normal world. Here is the operating system which sits at the base, and it uses the thing called application programming interface API and user interface, which is just like a little application or little program codes for say for example network, display, file system, and mouse and keyboard. So the operating system has these components, and then the application, well, this is your display, and there is an application which runs on your display. This application uses all these APIs to create useful application that users can use. So in the same way, we can look at the web mashups where the operating system is replaced by the internet, and the internet has many service providers, or you can say the websites like Yahoo, Google, eBay, Amazon, Technorati, and so forth, which they have their own API little programming code embedded in them, and look like a normal programmer or a simple programmer, or there are mashup tools that you can use to create web mashups by using the APIs from this website. Just for example's sake, you can use Google Maps, and you can use a website that gives you information about the crimes that happened in your area. You can use the APIs from both these websites and create a web mashup to see exactly where the crime took place. So that would be a very useful way to create a whole new web page, which will actually show you where exactly the crimes are happening. So this is how the web mashup works, and we'll now look at the type of mashups. The type of mashups are business, consumer, and data. Company in the business sense would use their own in-house applications, or the application and some web resources to create enterprise mashup. What this means for a company is they can use the data inside their company and the external data which is on the web to create a whole new application or a web page that gives them the data or the information that they are looking for. In this way, company can benefit from asking software companies to develop a whole new software to do the job that web mashup can do for the company. Sorry. And second type of mashup is consumer mashup, which is basically the mashup which is the most common mashup, which is the mashup of the web applications or different websites. Different websites are used to create a whole new website or a web application. the example that I showed you of a Google Maps and the crime scene, crime website being used to create a whole new web application to show exactly the areas or suburbs or the points where the crimes happened. The third type of mashup will be a data mashup, which is different to the consumer mashup where the data was used from different websites. Here, the data will be used from the similar type of websites like YouTube and other, video websites. And say, for example, you can use photos from different photo websites and create a mashup to create a whole new website that gives you more it makes more sense to the users, I would say, or the users can create their own websites as per their requirement. Now we'll be looking at the advantages and opportunities of web mashups. Well, the mashup would use the existing information to create new information. That's an advantage. In the previous Web 1.0 world, you couldn't do that. And clients or customers have to specifically request the websites to create applications for them to actually make the data more useful. So basically, using the existing information to create new information will be a very good way of creating new information which makes sense to the users. It's rapid application development. People don't have to wait for the companies to come back to them and say what are the requirements, or they can't do it, or they can do it. There's a very easy and quick to do. The web mashups don't take much time. You can create it in one day, or a week, or even 1 hour, depending on the complexity of the mashup. The third advantage is the web mashups don't require extensive IT skills. That means you don't have to be a hardcore programmer to, like a C++ programmer, VB.NET programmer, or web programmer to know how to create a mashup. You can go to Yahoo Pipes. It's a simple way to create mashups. It's pretty straightforward. The instructions are on the website, and it really creates good new RSS feeds. Well, the fourth would be the cost associated with application is also reduced. Um, that means previously you have to ask the IT companies to do it for you or for the companies, and in this way, using web mashups, you can have customized web application, which doesn't require extensive IT skills, so you're not paying for it, and you're not paying for the time it requires to create the application. The fifth one would be applications are better tailored to users' need. As we have shown before, users can create applications according to their need, not actually going on to one particular website to look for one information and the second website to look for second information. Rather than they can use two websites to create a mashup and make one a web application or a website to give them more information about what they're looking. Um, Now, the last one would be the Web 2.0 principle of sharing information is used here. So there are more opportunities to it. There are mashups added every day on the internet. They don't have to look for, you don't have to create new data, or you don't have to look for data that already resides. Um, you can just use the data on the internet. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention.